My name is Clara Whitmore. I'm 31 years old. People think breakups happen in explosions, screaming matches, shattered plates, doors slammed hard enough to bruise the frame. But the truth is quieter than that. The most permanent endings arrive without noise. They arrive like a thought that settles in your chest and refuses to leave. Mine arrived on a Tuesday afternoon at 3:07 p.m. through my coworker's phone. I was reviewing timelines for a client rollout when Evan, who sat 2 desks down, hovered beside me longer than normal. He didn't say my name right away. That hesitation alone tightened something behind my ribs. "Hey, Clara," he finally said. "This is awkward, but I think you should see this." He turned his phone toward me. "Instagram. A story. A poll. Should I dump my boring boyfriend for this hottie at the gym?" Below it, a looping video. My boyfriend Ryan, shirtless, laughing too loudly. A woman beside him, tan, sculpted, ponytail swinging, spotting him as he squatted. Her hands lingered at his waist. He leaned back into them. The kind of intimacy people pretend is accidental. The poll bar refreshed in real time. 80% yes, 20% no. I stared for a full 10 seconds, maybe more. "When was this posted?" I asked. "About an hour ago." I didn't respond. I just pulled out my own phone. There it was. Now at 83% yes. Ryan and I had been together 3 years. For the past year, he'd lived in my condo. Not ours, mine. I worked full-time as a project operations lead, earning just under 6 figures. Ryan worked part-time doing brand consulting, which mostly meant filming gym content and calling it strategy. On paper, he brought in about $1,200 a month when clients didn't delay payment. I paid the mortgage, utilities, groceries, streaming services, his car insurance, everything except his phone bill and the gym membership he was apparently using to audition replacements. I tapped the poll. I voted yes, not out of spite, out of alignment, because something had clicked into place with the precision of a lock closing. This wasn't just a joke, it was a performance, and I was the punchline. By 3:30 p.m., I'd opened my banking app. I contacted the utility companies first, scheduled disconnections for Friday, end of business. Electricity, water, internet, everything in my name. Then I canceled cable, changed every streaming password, revoked shared access on cloud accounts. I texted my landlord, technically the property owner, technically complicated, but legally simple. 30-day notice. I was vacating. Then I texted my sister, "Can I crash at your place for a bit?" She replied instantly, "Of course, what happened?" "I'll explain later. Need help moving tonight." I left work at 5 o'clock p.m. Ryan usually got home from the gym around 7, 2 hours. My sister showed up at 5:30 with her SUV. We worked efficiently. No tears, no speeches, just sorting. I took what was mine. My clothes, my laptop and work equipment, the TV I'd purchased, my console, kitchenware I'd owned before him, the couch from my old apartment. I left his things untouched. His influencer lights, his protein tubs, his carefully curated throw pillows. I photographed everything, documented what I took, what I left. Then I wrote a note. "Saw your poll. Voted yes. You should definitely pursue the gym girl. I've moved out. Utilities will be disconnected Friday. The lease is in my name. You have until the end of the month to find new housing. Keys on the counter when you leave." I signed it, left my copy of the keys. We were done loading by 6:45 p.m. Before blocking him, I checked the poll one last time. 88% yes. I sent one text. "Congrats on the new relationship, I'm out." Then I blocked him everywhere. At 8 o'clock p.m., Ryan started calling my sister's phone. She answered on speaker. "Where is she?" he demanded. "What did she do? Why is all her stuff gone?" "She moved out," my sister said calmly. "Over a joke? The Instagram poll?" "Yes, it was a joke. Everyone knows those are memes." My sister looked at me. I shook my head. "She doesn't want to talk to you," my sister said. "Don't call this number again." She hung up. Ryan called 6 more times. We didn't answer. And as I sat there, surrounded by boxes, something surprised me. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't crying. I felt light, like I'd set something down I'd been carrying far longer than I realized. This wasn't anger. This was subtraction. I slept better that night than I had in months. That surprised me. I expected adrenaline, the delayed crash, maybe regret creeping in during the early hours when doubt likes to masquerade as reason. Instead, I woke up clear, calm, certain, like my body already knew something my heart was still catching up to. Ryan did not share that peace. By Friday morning, my sister's phone had accumulated 12 missed calls from blocked numbers, 3 voicemails from unknown ones, and 1 desperate email sent to an address I'd forgotten was still linked to a shared account. Clara, please, this has gone too far. It was content. I didn't mean anything by it. Everyone does polls like that. Everyone doesn't humiliate their partner publicly. At 5:12 p.m. sharp, the utilities shut off. I know because at 5:27, my office receptionist forwarded a call before I could stop it. Clara, she said gently, there's a man on the line asking for you. He says it's urgent. I sighed, put him through. The moment I heard his voice, frantic and sharp, I knew he'd finally understood this wasn't a bit. The power's out, Ryan said. The internet's gone. What did you do? I canceled the services I was paying for. You can't just do that, he snapped. I live there. You live in a condo I'm vacating, I replied evenly. The utilities were in my name. I'm no longer paying them. So you expect me to cover everything now? I expect you to figure out your living situation. This is illegal. No, I said, this is logistical. He sputtered. You can't kick me out. I'm not kicking you out. I gave notice and moved out. You were never on the lease. There was silence on the line, thick and stunned. You said we didn't need to put me on it, he finally said. And now I'm moving out, I answered. You have until the end of the month. I can't afford rent anywhere. I paused. Not for effect, for accuracy. That's unfortunate. You're being ridiculous, he said. Everyone thinks you're insane. My friends, my mom, the same friends who voted you should dump me? They were joking. So was I said. The difference is I followed through. He started to cry then. Loud, breathless sobs, like emotion might reverse causality. This isn't funny anymore. I agree, I said. Please stop calling my work. I hung up and blocked the office line from his number. That night, he showed up at my sister's apartment. We didn't open the door. We watched him on the doorbell camera instead. Hair unwashed, gym bag slung over his shoulder like a prop he hadn't realized was out of place. Please, he begged into the lens. I'm sorry, it was stupid. I wasn't going to leave you. It was just Instagram. My sister crossed her arms. Should we answer? No, I said quietly. Let him finish. He rang the bell for 15 minutes. Then he left. 10 minutes later, he posted a crying selfie. When your girlfriend can't take a joke and ruins everything. The comments split fast. Some defended him, some didn't. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. His best friend DM'd me from an account I hadn't blocked yet. You're being really immature, I replied once. Tell him to find a new place to live. He has 3 weeks. Then I blocked that account too. Monday morning, the property management company called me. Apparently, Ryan had gone to them claiming I'd abandoned him and demanded the utilities be turned back on. I sent them everything. The lease, only my name. The notice text, screenshots of the Instagram poll. The manager was quiet for a moment. So, he said slowly, he publicly asked the internet if he should dump you. Yes. And you moved out? Yes. That's cold, he said. Then, after a beat, but legal. He cleared his throat. He's got until the end of the month, then we change the locks. Perfect, I said. By week 2, Ryan had found my mother's number. She listened patiently while he cried about how I was punishing him for one mistake. Then she said calmly, if you ask the internet whether you should dump my daughter, you don't get to be surprised when she helps you make that decision. He hung up on her. His mother called next. You don't throw away a 3-year relationship over one poll, she snapped. It wasn't a poll, I said. It was a pattern. Where is he supposed to go? He's an adult. You're heartless. I'm practical. She accused me of ruining his life. I asked her what bills he'd been paying. Silence. 2 days later, the gym woman messaged me. Hey, this whole thing is out of control. He keeps calling me. I'm not interested. Not my boyfriend, I replied. Not my problem. She insisted nothing happened. I have a girlfriend, she added defensively. Good, I said. Tell her to avoid Instagram polls. Then I blocked her too. By week 3, Ryan was living in the condo without utilities. Charging his phone with battery packs, showering at friends' places, posting stories about surviving like a pioneer. The comments turned. Why don't you move? Why aren't you taking responsibility? He deleted those. 5 days before the end of the month, he texted my sister's phone again. Please, I can't find anywhere. Everything needs first and last. I don't have it. I didn't respond. I'll apologize. I'll delete everything. You already did delete everything, I murmured. Just not the consequences. The last text came at midnight. I hope you're happy. You ruined my life. I typed once. I am happy. Good luck. Then I blocked his number on my sister's phone too. The quiet that followed wasn't empty. It was earned. By the time the calendar flipped into the final week of the month, the situation had stopped being a breakup and turned into a public event. Not because I made it one. Because Ryan couldn't stand the idea of suffering privately. Some people don't want resolution. They want an audience. And Ryan, who had built his entire identity on being watched, couldn't accept that I'd walked away without giving him a final scene to perform in. Every day, there was a new angle, a new villain, a new version of the story where he was the main character who had been unfairly betrayed. He called himself discarded. He called me cold. He called the condo ours. It was never ours. It was the stage I had been financing, and now the lights were off. 2 days after I blocked his last number, my sister's phone rang again, this time from a withheld caller ID. She put it on speaker without saying hello. A woman's voice immediately filled the room. Sharp, commanding, the kind of tone people use when they've practiced being obeyed. "This is Diane," she said, "Ryan's mother, and you need to fix this." My sister's eyebrows rose. "We already spoke." "No," Diane snapped. "You spoke, Clara hid, and now my son is practically being evicted like a criminal because you decided to have a tantrum." A tantrum. I stared at my tea like it had personally offended me. I leaned forward. "Hi, Diane, it's Clara." Silence, 1 beat, 2. Then her voice returned, lower now, as if she'd found a new tactic. "Oh, so you are alive?" "Yes," I said. "I'm alive, employed, and paying bills that are mine. You should try it." She gasped. "Excuse me?" "You said fix this," I continued calmly. "There's nothing to fix. I moved out of a condo I rented. Ryan is not on the lease. The property manager has a legal process in place. That's all." "You don't throw away 3 years over a stupid poll," she hissed. "It wasn't a poll," I said again, feeling the truth settle deeper every time I spoke it aloud. "It was contempt." "That is dramatic." "No," I said. "Dramatic was your son posting a poll asking strangers if he should replace me while filming a workout video with another woman. Dramatic was him calling my workplace. Dramatic was him ringing my sister's doorbell for 15 minutes and filming himself crying like it was a trailer." My sister bit back a laugh. Diane's voice turned icy. "So you admit you're doing this to punish him?" I let the silence stretch. Not because I didn't have an answer, because she needed to hear how ridiculous her sentence sounded hanging in the air. "I'm not punishing Ryan," I said finally. "I'm removing myself from a relationship where I was being used." She scoffed. "Used?" "Yes," I said, "emotionally and financially. Ryan is not some gold digger." "I didn't say he was," I replied, "but he enjoyed living in my condo, using my utilities, eating groceries I paid for, and then publicly advertising for my replacement. If you want to debate vocabulary, fine, but the behavior is the behavior." Diane's anger cracked into panic. "Where is he supposed to go?" she demanded. "We don't have room. We have a 2-bedroom house. His father works nights. There's no space." I blinked. "That sounds like a Ryan problem." "He'll be homeless." "No," I said. "He'll be inconvenienced." "Clara, you're heartless." I took a breath and felt something strange. Not rage, not hurt. Clarity. "I'm done," I said quietly. "Tell Ryan to stop trying to make me responsible for the life he built on my credit card." Then I nodded at my sister. She ended the call. For a moment, the apartment was silent except for the distant city hum outside the window. My sister exhaled. "You were nicer than I would have been." "I'm not being nice," I said. "I'm being final." That same night, the gym woman, Sabrina, messaged me again from a different account. "I'm really sorry. He's been coming to the gym crying. He told people you're abusive. This is insane." I read it twice. Then I replied once. "Tell your manager to keep him away from you, and please stop contacting me." She sent one last message. "I swear nothing happened. He just wanted content." That line, "he just wanted content," hit me harder than any insult. Because it explained everything. Not his feelings, not his betrayal. His mindset. I blocked her. The next day, my sister got a call from a mutual acquaintance, someone Ryan had kept around like a social prop. "Did you hear?" the woman whispered, like she was delivering gossip about a celebrity. "Ryan got banned from the gym." "What?" my sister asked. "He showed up again," she said. Crying. Cornered Sabrina. Started yelling that she ruined his life because she tempted him into making the poll. Management called security. I closed my eyes. Of course he blamed the gym woman. Of course he blamed everyone but himself. By then, Ryan's Instagram was starting to collapse in real time. He'd posted story after story about living off-grid in a dark condo. He tried to spin it as heroic, but the comments had stopped sympathizing. "Why aren't you moving? Why didn't you pay utilities? Why did you humiliate your girlfriend publicly?" He deleted those comments. Then he turned off comments entirely. But the internet is like water. If you try to dam it, it just finds a new path. Someone stitched his crying stories with the original poll and posted it on TikTok. The caption was brutal. He asked strangers if he should dump her. They said yes. She said yes too. That version spread faster than his. On Wednesday, the property manager emailed me. Final notice posted. Constable scheduled for end-of-month enforcement. Seeing the words constable scheduled gave me a chill. Not guilt, but gravity. This wasn't drama anymore. This was consequence with paperwork. The final 5 days were Ryan's last sprint toward salvaging his old life. He texted my mother again. He tried my office line again. Blocked. He showed up at my sister's building again. Ignored. Then, finally, he did the only thing he'd avoided the entire time. He offered a real apology. Not in private. In public. He posted a video, no music, no filters, just his face, tired and blotchy. I messed up, he said. I thought it was funny. I thought it was harmless. I didn't realize Clara would take it so seriously. There it was. Even in his apology, he found a way to make the problem my reaction, not his action. The comments, what little remained, were merciless. You didn't realize humiliating your girlfriend was serious? You didn't realize bills were serious either, apparently. Ryan deleted the video 2 hours later, but the internet doesn't forget. And I didn't either, because I wasn't just watching him unravel, I was watching him reveal. The end of the month was coming, and with it, the moment where nobody's feelings mattered anymore. Only names on paper. The last day of the month arrived without ceremony. No warning text, no dramatic post, no final plea that hadn't already been exhausted. At 9:12 a.m., my phone buzzed with a message from the property manager. They're here. I didn't respond right away. I sat on my sister's couch, coffee cooling in my hands, staring out at the street like it was just another morning. Somewhere across the city, a chapter of my life was being physically removed from a space I no longer occupied. And for the first time since all of this began, I felt something close to sorrow. Not for Ryan. For the version of myself who once thought love meant stability without respect. The property manager texted again 10 minutes later. Constable explained trespassing. He refused to leave. Another pause. Then, his mother arrived with a U-Haul. That part didn't surprise me. Ryan had never solved his own emergencies. He escalated them until someone else intervened. According to the updates, Diane arrived furious, yelling, crying, demanding to know how a country could allow this. The constable remained unmoved. The property manager stayed calm. Paperwork doesn't respond to volume. Ryan cried, loudly. He insisted he'd lived there for a year, that he had rights, that he had nowhere to go. The constable explained, again, that he was never on the lease, that the legal tenant had vacated, that his occupancy was now unauthorized. Diane shouted that I would pay for this. The property manager responded evenly. Ma'am, we followed every legal protocol, 30 days notice, proper documentation. She did nothing wrong. Ryan's belongings were loaded into the truck. His lights, his protein tubs, his throw pillows. At 10:47 a.m., the locks were changed. And that was it. No explosion. Just an ending. I found out later, from a mutual friend who couldn't resist the irony, that Ryan moved back into his parents' house. 2 bedrooms, 1 couch, no gym membership, no audience. His Instagram following cratered once people realized the Psycho X narrative didn't survive basic scrutiny. Clients dropped him quietly. No announcements, just unanswered emails. He picked up a full-time retail job a month later. Decent hours, modest pay, not enough for his own place. The gym woman's girlfriend, who Ryan had claimed didn't exist, posted her own video. She called him out for using her partner for content without consent and for publicly humiliating me in the process. That video outperformed the original poll by thousands. Ryan made his account private. Then he deleted it entirely. As for me, I stayed with my sister for 2 months. Not because I needed to. Because I wanted space to choose my next chapter instead of stumbling into it. I bought a smaller condo across town. No roommates. No subleases. No compromises disguised as generosity. It's quiet there. Intentional. I ran into Ryan once, unexpectedly, in a grocery store. He saw me first. I noticed him when I heard my name. Tentative, hopeful, like he still believed access was something he could request retroactively. Clara? I turned down a different aisle. He texted me later from an unknown number. Saw you today. You couldn't even say hi? I blocked it. Another number followed. I just wanted to apologize. I was stupid. I miss you. I replied once. You miss having your life funded. Move on. Then I blocked that one too. I'm not angry anymore. Anger burns energy. Closure releases it. When people ask if I regret how I handled things, I tell them the truth. No, I didn't shout. I didn't smear him online. I didn't take anything that wasn't mine. I removed myself. The internet did the rest. My mother asked me recently if I'd ever forgive him. Forgive what? I asked. The poll, the humiliation, the assumption I'd always stay. I don't need to forgive him, I said. I'm not carrying it. She hugged me and told me she was proud. Not because I was strong, because I was precise. This whole thing taught me something simple and permanent. How people treat you when they think you're stuck tells you exactly who they are. Ryan thought I was boring, stable, predictable. He thought I'd tolerate anything as long as I kept the lights on and the bills paid. He was wrong. He wanted engagement. He got it. Then he got consequences. And me? I got peace. I got my own space. I got a life where my worth isn't measured by a poll, a percentage, or a punchline. That's not cold. That's self-respect. And if I had to choose again, I'd still vote yes.